Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. This is Connie with Prairie Paper Crafts, coming on today to share with you the paper piecing for the Nutty Bunch pattern from from Cuddly Cute Designs. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Been an interesting day already. So I just want to share with you, I have put the acorns together. Just want to let you know I'm not going to be sharing with you all the detailing I do, the eyes and everything. This is strictly just how to put the piece together, and then I'll share the finished project at the end. But on my acorn tops only, I did put it through a embossing folder. It's an older folder, like very old. It's like an argyle type pattern. Just wanted to give it a little texture on my acorn tops, and then did them on the little ones. Then the lettering I did run through the softly falling embossing folder. I wanted something a little bit smaller than the Swiss dots, so I'm going to get these a little bit out of the way, and I'm going to get my eyes. I'm going to put all my eyes together because these are all the same size. The eyes I've mentioned before have a slightly straighter versus a slightly curved edge. The more curved edge goes to the outside of the eyes. And I don't know that I have. Just looking for a little black piece of paper maybe to work on here a moment while I do the eyes. So the eyes are 3 parts. They're all the same. My brown, there's a slightly more curved edge, but that'll go on first. Hope everyone is doing well. Doing okay. Just trying to kind of hide out in my apartment some and hopefully stay somewhat well. I'm trying to politely get my neighbor to understand that right now is not probably a good time to be coming over a lot. She spends a lot of time at the ball games here in town, which I'm happy she has something to keep her busy, but there's not a lot of social distancing there, and just concerned we have had more virus cases than I think everybody had kind of anticipated. So one thing I wish I would have done, because it won't show up real well, is on the brown part of the eyes. I wish I would have used a lighter color than I did, just because the darker brown against the black doesn't show up real well, but it's all good. In the grand scheme of things, once you get the white in the eyes, everything, it'll all work out fine. So get those off of there so you can probably see better. Just trying to kind of show you how that goes. Taking advantage of the sunshine, hoping to get a little bit of outdoor light coming in on the video. It's been kind of cloudy and dreary at times, so just having a struggle that it's already already August already. I'm gonna get my rear in gear, so to speak, and get working on. I've started on Christmas projects and start working on few fall things. I don't know how much I'm gonna do, but try to get busy. September, I think more, and I don't know if I think more of apples in September, pumpkins in October. It's kind of my thinking. I'm going to do the part of the basket next. Can't do all of it because of the leaves. Get this black blob out of your sight there. Okay. My leaves, first of all, I'll just show you. I did run these through 3 different embossing folders. I just like adding texture where I can. I think it adds a lot to the finished pieces. Just my preference. Now I did use a darker color for my basket this time, and I do like it much richer. I like the light ones too, but I like this color. And maybe it's because I got a new embossing folder. I've been looking at the basket weave for some time. Finally broke down and bought one. So I think that adds a lot. I think that's part of what it is. But I wanted to share with you before I do the basket some things here. With these 3 pieces, the pieces that curve, get this out of the way, you can probably see it better. There's more of a flat, and then they curve out. These 2 pieces, you want them to curve to the outside, and they will fit on the basket exactly that way. So I like to put, excuse me, this middle piece on first. And I can't express the amount of texture that's in this basket weave folder. You're going to get, if you happen to use even the leaves, the embossing folders, you get quite a bit of extra texture that you wouldn't think. And yeah, it really, okay, I must be prejudiced. I think it adds a lot. I've seen it on other people's and I really like it. So now I put my outside pieces so they meet pretty much to the edge, the top edge, and then they'll fit along the bottom too. And it doesn't look like much yet, but once you get the other pieces on, you'll see it all come together better. So we got the 3 top pieces on, and then you have these 3 pieces like this. And so the long skinny one goes in the center. So I put that one on first. And I like to hold it a moment because that embossing, glue's got to kind of soak in and take a hold. So that's my thinking. Okay, then you have this smaller, narrower piece, or excuse me, it's wider, but it's shorter, excuse me. It goes at the bottom. And for this, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to put glue on the bottom and then the top here. Part way down just to make sure it stays good. And I try to center this best I can. Okay. And then this top piece, I don't know if you can see it, it curves at the top, it curves slightly, so you want it to curve down. You don't want it to, it's going to be kind of backwards to me. That's just my thinking of what I'm used to for a bushel basket, and that's how the picture shows. But again, if you want it to go the other way, that's up to you. There's not always a wrong or a right way to put these together. I mean, you have, what is it? Creative freedom. I think that's what they call it. So I use that a lot when I make a mistake. Well, that's just how I wanted it to go. Excuse me. So there's our basket. I'm going to set that aside so I can work on my squirrels. And in order to save a little time when I did these, I separated them all into by color, my little bags. So I have to kind of separate them a little bit further. I didn't take the time to do this. Apologize. But put these together here a little bit. Normally I do separate by color, so if you're kind of wondering, I'm trying to separate my bodies, excuse my reach, I apologize. And then I have my other pieces here. And these little oval pieces are part of the mouth. I know sometimes you get all these pieces and you wonder, what are you supposed to do with all of these? So, give you a better idea. And these are body parts. I'm going to put one with each of the bodies. So I'm going to take the ears first. And I make sure they line up going the right direction in there. And I have to watch really close how these ears go on because they're almost backwards to me. So to always look at the photo when I'm doing it. So I think a couple of times I've put this together now, a few times. In fact, the last video I did, I think if you watched the other video, I had mentioned that I wasn't in frame, so I apologize. I can't see the camera with all the lights, so I'm hoping I am. I tried to be very careful this time when I set it up. Still trying to get used to using this new tripod and everything, and oh well, it will all come together. Okay, then what I'm going to do is take the bodies and put those pieces. I tried to turn it this way. The narrower part goes to the top. One would think that might be obvious, but in my world, lately nothing is obvious. And when I look at it from the back side, it's backwards, so. Set aside. And again, see, it's hard till you actually lay it on to figure it out. And I just put it up toward the top of the neck. And we can pop the heads on. I was making a bear last night and I literally glued the head on like this. It was late, I was tired. Set that aside. Head's at a bit of an angle. Okay, here's where the ears come in. They don't go like, oh, they do. I look at the camera. See, again, I want to put it on backwards. The curve is pointing to the outside. I use this little notch as a gauge of where I put my ears, if that helps. And I put them fairly straight up and down. And I want to bring the other ears in. They don't look like squirrels yet, but they will. Also just wanted to comment that I used different color paper this time. I used cinnamon stick on the previous one. I think it was basil cinnamon stick, but this works fine. Okay, so this one with its head going a little bit this way, turned just the slightest bit. I don't want to put this arm on yet, just because it needs to hold an acorn, so I'm going to hold off a little bit. But I can put this one on. His be his left arm to me, and it's gonna have the acorn hiding that part, but I like to keep it on just to be on the safe side. Okay, yep, so we've got his tail. Before we put the tail on, I want to put his feet on, because his feet are gonna go, so he's sitting on his haunches, and just kind of getting this lined up. Looks good. So now I want to get this fairly straight, so I'm going to bring in a ruler. Since I don't normally do this, but I don't have my grid to work on, so that's what I usually go by, just so I can have something to line it up. Oh, and I put glue on the wrong side. See, I'm backwards today. Oh, it comes right off. If you catch it soon enough, it'll come right off. So, hint, hint. Okay. Again, I just want to kind of try to get the paws even. Come out just a little bit. That out of the way. I'm working on a couple projects. I don't want glue or glitter glue in my ruler. I'm only going to put glue on the bottom for a moment. I can kind of see where I want this. And I'll come back and put glue up here. The mouthpieces are the same for both. I usually put glue on the back here. And I don't I don't put this up very high. I have it covering the majority of the mouth. What you would do, and this is what I'm not going to do on camera, is you would put this here, take your two eyes, and I'm just going to pop my eyes on so they're there. I'm just not going to detail them because it takes me forever. Put them at a little bit of an angle. I'm going to try to make sure that they're even top and bottom. Okay. Then you would just pop the muzzle on, and you have the black little piece of the nose. I put it right at the top. And then that little guy, other than you'll take, well, let's see, these are going to be, now the acorns, I was going to mention this. There are three different sizes. the little ones for the title, 2 of them, and then you have 2 other sizes. So the squirrel is holding, I'm putting it as the smaller one, okay? So you would put that here. You'd put your arm, excuse me, there. And you take one of the paws and you're going to put it down here. So that's the first squirrel. I'm going to set that aside and get your second squirrel going here. Excuse again my reach. So I'm going to put the tail on. Again, just gluing the bottom first. Come back and, oops, didn't want to stay for me. Sorry about the interruption of the door knocking. That's my neighbor that likes to come over a lot, and nice lady, but I don't get anything done sitting, and just not comfortable having a lot of company right now. Yeah. Okay, this arm, so you got the 2. One I'm going to put here because it's going to be, again, holding an acorn. It's sitting in the basket. So I'm putting that, and I'm putting it just slightly at an angle. And then before looking for some smaller acorns. So again, let's pop this mouth together. Sorry. May have to stop the video, do the detailing, and then come back and put it all together. We'll see. Don't know. Okay, so we would have the mouth and the eyes. And again, I'm looking at an angle here. That's way crooked. Whoa. Okay, we're gonna go like that. We have the eyes. And this squirrel is gonna be holding an acorn down here. So, oh, I see I did this backwards. I'm going to have to stop and chalk this or ink this on the right side, what I was dreaming about. And I will do my detailing, and then we'll come back and finish it and put it all together. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, thank you. So I have my detailing done on my pieces, and I got my arm chalked the right direction here. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this sitting squirrel holding the acorn. And I'm just taking the acorn here and gonna pop it on. Figure kind of get it where I want it here. Take this arm, gonna put it pretty much just right by the bottom of his chin there, just to give you a point of reference. Did a little bit of an angle. Okay, so I'm gonna set him again off to the side. I'm gonna quick finish this one so I can get the rest of it put together. Oh, I need to come back. I'm so sorry. We need to get his little paw on down here. So I'm going to just put glue on the bottom half or so of this, and then working upside down here. So let's see, just kind of using the picture on the computer as a guide. Okay, and I don't like that just hanging here with this foot, so I just put a little bit of glue, if you can see, right on the top of his paw back there, so it can all go together. There, holds it together. Okay, good deal on that one. Now we're going to come in on this little guy, and he's holding it more like this, and I want to make sure that this paw is going to get covered over here, so that's why I'm kind of figuring out where I want it put there. And I'm going to put that paw there. Excuse my hands being in the way. I may need to come back and put some glue underneath the paw and the acorn. I'm going to see if it holds fairly good itself. Yeah, I'm going to tuck a little bit of glue back under here. Again, just so I don't have the... What I did is on the right side of this back arm piece, I put a little bit of glue to hold it together. And then this is just going to come down. Well, we're going to put it at a little bit more of an angle, to be honest with you. Okay. Remember, that's the arm that I, inked the wrong side. Leave it to me, right? Coming back with the basket, and we've got, we only need 3 acorns for this, okay? So I'm going to put the first one in at an angle. This kind of goes in the middle or so. Just going to put a little bit of glue on here too, just to hold it all together. Wow. I think you can kind of see how this darker basket and the basket weave, I think, like I said, gave it a lot of extra texture. Okay, and then this one's going to come like that. Again, put some glue on the back here. I need a little bit more glue here just to hold that in. I'm going to get that glue covered up. Don't want it too far out to cover the squirrel either. So, and then this one's going to come in at an angle over here. Okay, then we're going to pop our little squirrel in the basket, and it's kind of up to you how high you put it, to be honest. So I'm just going to put some glue at the bottom of this, and I've got it at the top of this. Just kind of debating where I want it. Just kind of eyeball it. Okay, then we come back in with the leaves. This one goes on the back of the basket. I'm just laying these here for now, okay, just so we can get everything together. Then I'll come back and put them in. And then we have one acorn laying here. We have our green leaf kind of laying like this. We have this leaf on top but behind. And then we have this acorn going down here at an angle. So try to pick these up a little bit together, or not, but get this on. This leaf, I don't want it going too far down, but okay, then it was this one, and just a little bit of glue here and some glue just on the corner, just to, you know, hold everything together. And again, completely eyeball where you're putting it, not something that has to be exact. Then we come in, this goes at more of an angle, and it's pretty much all on the basket. I was going to tell you, when I put this, my big shots laying down there, I'm going to show you how I did this. I have problems with this wood grain textured embossing folder. In one moment, let's get it. Trying to get my pieces out. I still have the old plates, the original plates that came with it. But so I put my embossing folder through my two well-loved plates. So then you have, this is the normally where you'd put the tab, the plates on this. There's this plastic laminated piece. I don't use that. I put it just through here. Boy, this thing is really getting beat up. But it doesn't put as much pressure on, and it really, the paper doesn't tear. So if you have the older ones, that's just a hint. Okay, back to my project here. Sorry to ramble, but it isn't, I don't know if at some point someone had said, I thought use like a copy paper in there somewhere, but that adds more pressure, so I don't know what I'm dreaming about when I think about that, but anyway. Okay, so this one does go almost to the top, and then this acorn is going to go at an angle here, so don't, just need some at the top here, put a little bit along the bottom. And there is, other than a little bit of highlighting, I will do the finished piece. Trying to get the pin in the glue bottle, and there, wasn't working. So, and then this one would just sit here however you want it. And it's finished. So thank you for joining me. Have an awesome day, everybody.